video, and as you guys could tell from the thumbnail and the title, today I am doing a story time of my breast reduction. The point of this video is not to give a lot of details, because quite frankly it's been a minute since I had the surgery, so I don't remember everything, but it's honestly to just give my insight on the whole procedure, the process, and if there's any girlies out there that are considering a breast reduction, I am here to give you guys advice to help put yourself at ease. I do want to say 10 out of 10 recommend. Best decision I've ever made. One of the best decisions I've ever made, getting the reduction. I got the reduction back in September of last year, and it was a decision that I thought long and hard about for years. Let me say this. I will say this. I loved my breasts. Honestly, I want to say I was at least I had to be like the F's or the G's, honestly. I was pretty well endowed. I will have photos on the screen so you guys can see. Now I am in a C cup. I wanted to go smaller, but the doctor said that was dangerous to go even smaller than a C cup, so he did not. So he got them as small as I wanted them. Honestly, I love this size. I know there's still probably to other girls like a nice cup size, but from going to where you guys can see on the screen to now is like a huge difference. I always loved my breasts, I believe, when they were like this size. Like back when they were like normal, I love my breasts, and I always was called big breasted, big boobs growing up, like in high school. That's when I kind of like, it wasn't until, honestly, I want to say last year and the year before where they kind of just got out of control. And I started becoming really self-conscious of myself. Like I stopped wanting to wear tight shirts. I was starting to wear like big t-shirts, oversized t-shirts. And if I did wear tight t-shirts and tight shirts, I was very self-conscious. I would not wear anything with a strap, that, you know, halter tops, none of that, because it honestly hurt to wear them. The straps would like dig into my skin. Just very uncomfortable. And you know, when you want to go out and, you know, dress nice and wear certain things, it's like it becomes frustrating to not be able to wear certain things that you want to wear because you're worried about, you know, is this gonna fit? Am I gonna be uncomfortable the whole time I'm there? And it's crazy because, like I said, I still would get a lot of compliments on my breasts even when they were like huge. I had a lot of women always ask me if they were real. A lot of women would be like, oh my God, I love your breasts. And I'm like, yeah, until you get them, you know. They're nice to look at, but they're not nice to deal with. And then you also have to deal with like back pains and neck pains and not being able to really work out and exercise. I really couldn't go down to the gym and run on my treadmill because it would hurt. You know, you're carrying all this weight and they're just like bouncing up and down, and it's tugging at your collarbones, and it was a lot. Even like when I would put on sports bras and like try to, or like I would actually sometimes put on like a regular bra just to kind of keep them at bay, and it was a lot. It was a lot. Now it's much better, and it's so much easier to work out, and I have to worry about that. But the turning point for me was I went on a family vacation last year to Daytona Beach, and I was trying on like my older swimsuit tops that I've gotten before, and they weren't fitting. Not that they really fit for real before, but it just was like completely like ridiculous. So I ended up having to get plus size tops, and I think at that moment I was like, yeah, I can't do this no more. I was almost like embarrassed to even like wear the swimsuit because I felt like all eyes were on me, just like a lot of attention. I know some people wouldn't say it to your face, but you know how they feel. And then there were some people that would say something to me like, oh, I didn't know they were like that. And it's like, yeah, very much so. So I think that was the turning point to make me go ahead and get the reduction. Prior to that, I had to wait before I could get the reduction because one day I looked down at my breasts, just checking them out. You know, women, sometimes we check to make sure everything's okay. And I noticed there was like some orange peel looking skin underneath like my breast, and I was like, well, that looks weird, I've never seen that before. And then also the skin around that area was a little red and blotchy. So I ended up FaceTiming my mom, sent her pictures, and she was like, you gotta go to the doctor. So I went to the doctor, and they ended up having me go to a doctor that specializes in like breast and making sure everything's okay. And because they were just like, well, that looks like orange peel skin, and you know, we're not saying that, you know, it's breast cancer, but you want to stay on top of it. And also because women with bigger breasts are at higher risk of breast cancer because of all, like, you know, the meat. They wanted me to just make sure everything was okay. So I ended up, just to sum it all up, I ended up getting a mammogram, an ultrasound, and a biopsy, which I didn't know I was going in to get a biopsy until I was in there. So that was a bit traumatizing, a little bit, just because I wish I would have had somebody with me if I hadn't known. So, you know, my doctors kind of dropped the ball on that one, but it's fine. The worst part was the numbing needle, and that hurt. But the biopsy came back, nothing was there. Ultrasound, mammogram came back great, and I ended up asking the doctor I went to who did my biopsy, I was like, I'm thinking about getting a reduction, is that something you think I should do? She looked at my breast and was like, yeah. She was like, I think removing a lot of that mass is good. So I ended up starting to make preparations. I reached out to my doctor to possibly get a recommendation to get the surgery. I told her how I've been feeling. Literally, like, almost every day I was waking up with my neck having cramps and back pains, and I just told her at this point I'm tired of feeling uncomfortable when I put on clothes, and it's just not fun. Like, I don't feel like my best self because I can't wear certain things, and I feel like everyone's looking at me. I can't work out. It's just horrible. It's like affecting my self-esteem at this point. So she, again, I of course had to show her my breasts, and she was just like looking at them because I had on a bigger t-shirt, of course, remember, self-conscious, and she was just like, they don't even really look that big. I was like, sis, wait till I take this shirt off. So I took my shirt off, and she was like, oh my god, yeah, I see what you mean. I'm like, yeah. So she sent it off, literally got a call, I don't know the exact day, but it wasn't too long, which is very good because sometimes they make you wait. But because how my breast was looking, I'm sure, you know, they was like, oh no, we gotta go deflate these balloons for her. So I ended up meeting with my surgeon to have like I think it was like a consultation, him to just talk to me. And I believe we did the video call first, just to talk to him, and then I went in person, and he took photos, looked at them, everything like that, asked me, you know, what my expectations were, how small that I want them. He was like, listen, I'm gonna tell you now, I don't go by size, I just kind of, you know, go in and do it by eye. And he was like, I can't promise I can get them super duper small, because remember earlier in the video guys, I said that's dangerous, can't go too small. So long story short, we ended up setting a date for the end of September, and I was very nervous because, as you guys know, it's a very invasive surgery. They literally have to cut off your nipples and go up in there and pull stuff out and sew you back up, and I was scared. And then also just talking with my mother, I think she kind of scared me a little bit because she was saying that it was gonna be painful. My mother had the surgery as well too. Hope she's okay with me saying that. I'll make sure she is. But she ended up telling me that it was painful for her. We had 2 different doctors, so that scared me as well too. Luckily, I had an amazing surgeon, and I was in no pain, honestly. I think for me, the biggest thing was the mental. So I'm gonna take you guys to the day of the surgery. It was early in the morning. I couldn't eat and drink after a certain time. I couldn't take certain medications. I got up early. They told me I could shower, but there was a specific kind of soap I had to use. I couldn't put deodorant under my arms. What else? I believe that is it for all the preparation. I know they said no lotions as well too. And again, you guys, I'm sorry I don't remember every single detail, but this was almost like last year at this point. But super early in the morning, I went to the hospital where they were doing it. I went to one of the Emory hospitals where they did it. And got there, literally, I didn't have to wait super long. Went back there, they prepped me. My mom ended up coming back there with me. My parents and Steph was there, but my mother ended up coming to the back with me because of course I need my mom. And we just sat and talked. You know, I had my little shower cap thing on, my little dressings and everything. They gave me some strange underwear, like little cloth underwear undies. And they gave me some socks, and then they put these compression leg things around my legs, and I think that's just to make sure your legs keep pumping, like blood vessels and stuff like that, if I'm not mistaken. If I'm wrong, correct me in the comments. And they put the IV in and everything, and then the doctors and the surgeon came in and to talk to me. He did one last look at everything. And it's funny because my mom was like, after she heard him say C-cup, she was like, when he left, she was like, you sure you don't wanna? I was just telling him to go smaller, as small as you can get it. And I was like, well, they said it might be dangerous, but she was like, well, just see what he says. And if, you know, it's dangerous, of course, we're not gonna do it. So I asked one of the nurses, I was like, well, can we go smaller? And they kind of gave me this look like, and so the surgeon came in and he was like, I was like, okay, I already know. He was like, but I'll try to get them as small as I can. So ended up getting rolled into the back, and yeah, it was literally, I was in this big room and I was brought down on the table. My mom walked with me up into the doors, gave her a kiss and everything like that, and yeah, they put me under and I woke up. I didn't wake up with any pain. Honestly, I was so drugged up and just tired at that point. And the funny thing is, I did like last minute research on how to make myself comfortable, because I ended up staying here at my house versus going to my parents' house. My mom wanted to take care of me, but I honestly just wanted to be home and comfortable. So like I did like last minute research, and thank God for Amazon Prime, because I looked up you know, certain pajamas, because you don't want to be lifting up your arms too much above your head. They tell you that. So I got the button-up pajamas. I got a short and shirt set. I got this long like gown that buttoned up, and I'll put the pictures on the screen somewhere. And then I also read what was really good is getting a pregnancy pillow, because it helps make you comfortable when you're sleeping, because you have to sleep on your back. That's another thing. So if you're not a back sleeper, it's going to be difficult for you, which was difficult for me trying to, you know, get the hang of that. So I ended up ordering that, and thank God for Prime, because they ended up literally coming, everything came the day of the surgery. So when I got back home, they were already delivered in the mailroom. So look at God. So yeah, the first day was fine. I walked around. They also tell you to make sure you walk around and keep your legs pumping. And that's also to prevent blood clots and stuff like that. You can't really do any strenuous activity, anything that's heavy, any lifting, none of that. No lifting up your arms, none of that. Again, like I said, my surgeon was awesome, so I didn't have any pain. And I believe on TikTok I was looking at breast reduction videos, and some girl on there who got her breast reduction done, she mentioned my doctor and said that he was her surgeon, and she said she had no pain. So listen, I forgot his name, but if I can remember it, I will put it on the screen somewhere. If you guys are with Kaiser, which is my insurance, definitely look to him to get your breast reduction. He's awesome. I mean, literally no pain at all, and yeah, great experience with that. So in the weeks following, for 4 weeks, I had to chill. I took a week off from work. Even though you guys, you know I work from home, but my surgeon recommended that I take some time off because he was like, you're going to be uncomfortable. I think the other thing that was discomfort for me was the bandages. They were itchy. I have very sensitive skin, so the bandages actually made me very itchy and irritated my skin, so it was like swelled up around the area. So I was happy when I was able to take the bandages off. It wasn't until I believe the 4th week, I want to say, I hope I'm not incorrect, that I was able to go and get the bandages taken off. And they said I could just wear the bra. So before, I was wearing the bandages and this bra that they gave me from surgery. So I was just wearing that because it was most comfortable for me. And I ended up going on Amazon and ordering more bras. And so after that, it was like, you don't have to wear the bandages. And I was like, well, this is a little weird because I feel like the wound hasn't, healed up a lot. But she was like, no, you're gonna be fine. So I ended up doing that, and I was don't do this. I blamed the doctor. There was another doctor I had that told me to put Vaseline on my incisions. Do not do that. I mean, it may work for y'all, but it did not work for me. I ended up actually getting an allergic reaction, and my boobs ended up swelling up and becoming very itchy, very irritated, very red, very raw. In the weeks following, and I ended up having to I think I had to take antibiotics, and I had to put cortisone cream, and it cleared up. It wasn't anything super serious, but to have to deal with breast reduction and then go into that, it was annoying. And then it fell on my birthday, so that was hard. We did an escape room and out to dinner, and the whole time I was so itchy to the point where I legit wanted to cry. But honestly, you guys, yeah, and then I think probably a few weeks after that, again, don't remember the time frame, I went back to my surgeon to have a follow-up, and he told me I didn't have to wear the bra no more, which I was like, yes. And he was like, you don't have to sleep on your stomach anymore. I was like, yes. But honestly, after that, I had to wait a few more weeks before I was able to sleep on my side. And I don't sleep on my stomach anyway, which is funny because I stopped sleeping on my stomach because of my boobs. But my breasts were still sore, so I had to kind of wait. But yeah, and I was able to take the bra off and sleep how I want to, and it was great. It was great. So again, to summarize all of this, you guys, the physical aspect of it was not bad. It was great. I had a great doctor. But you guys, the emotional and mental aspects of the surgery was a lot for me. I think I was just, I can't explain it. I don't know if it was just the surgery itself, but I was very, very irritable and uncomfortable. Very uncomfortable. And it wasn't even so much of like something specific per se. I think I was just very uncomfortable. I couldn't really get comfortable. Actually, the first few nights I slept out here, and then eventually I would sleep in the bed. Like I was trying to just fill it out. Like literally I was not getting a lot of sleep. And I think something just was off with me mentally. Like I had a lot of anxiety from the biopsy, just dealing with that, because that was very scary. That was a very stressful time for me, because you don't want to hear that it could possibly be breast cancer, you know what I'm saying? And then dealing with this, and then coming out of a traumatic surgery. And I think just mentally, my brain and my common sense just wasn't here. I feel like my brain felt like something traumatic happened to me, and then it was just kind of like, so we're sad, right? And I'm like, no, it's a good thing, but it just, if it makes sense. Tell me if you guys understand what I'm saying. But that was my only thing. And I spent a lot of time crying and trying to navigate my feelings, like a lot of time crying. Like I legit would be walking around the kitchen, like trying to get my walks in and just crying and not even really knowing why. So that was trying for me. Thank God for, you know, the support of my family and Steph. My mom deals with anxiety sometimes, so she gave me some exercises to do, and that helped out a lot. So shout outs to my mother. And yeah, just that also gave me a lot of time to play games and relax and watch TV. Like I said, I was out for a week of work, so I just tried to cope by talking to friends and family. And if you guys ever, you know, end up getting this surgery or any kind of surgery, surrounding yourself with your loved ones and not being in stressful situations, it helps so much. Like, it helps so much. If you love video games, try it. Even if you're not a video game person, even if you don't have a PS5 like I do, listen, iPads and iPhones, nowadays you can download games and, you know what I'm saying, read a book, watch your favorite TV show and binge it that you always wanted to binge but never had time to, watch movies, spend time with loved ones, eat. Well, you know what? I take that back. The medications. You may not be able to eat like you want to because you will be on certain types of medication. And also, if I'm not being too TMI, you will be constipated. That is a big thing that I didn't know about. After surgery, your body shuts down to an extent and you will be constipated. And that was another thing that was really hard to deal with. I tried Colace. That didn't work. I needed something stronger, and I ended up trying this other stool softener, and I forgot the name, but I will put it on the screen. My doctor recommended that to me, and I started taking that, and that helped. But for the longest, I literally could not poop for a few weeks. I could not poop for a few weeks, and that was very difficult. And I ended up making the mistake of doing other stool softener products that all it did was, because I didn't have like the strength to poop it out, it was just building. And one morning it was just, my stomach was cramping so much and I literally had to just sit on the toilet. And so do not make the same mistake I did. You will be nauseous at some point, so beware of that. And they gave me nausea medicine for that as well, so that helped. They gave me painkillers as well too, but like I said, I didn't really need them because I wasn't in any pain anyway. What else? Your appetite will be different. Definitely will be different. There was times where I would be hungry but really didn't have the appetite for it. Some things tasted off. I really was just eating a lot of soup, drinking a lot of water, eating a lot of fruit. So yeah, I think I covered everything, honestly. Also, one last thing, my insurance covered majority of my surgery. Kaiser is I've never had problems with Kaiser, you know, just small little things. But for the most part, Kaiser has been great to me. And I also got insurance through my job as well too, health insurance, so even better. And Kaiser was one of the insurance companies that they offered for me, so I didn't have to switch over to somebody else. So I was like happy. I've been with Kaiser for years, and I was able to get majority of my surgery covered by Kaiser. I mean, my surgery was like thousands of dollars, and literally at the end of you know, seeing how much they covered for me, I only had to pay $700 something for the surgery. So that's clutch. So if you have a way that you can get your insurance to pay for it, definitely go that route. And I would say if you're on the fence about it, get it done. I was one of those girls that was just like, oh, I can't picture nobody cutting into me. But it wasn't until it got really bad that I was like, I gotta do something. And like I said, for my big breasted girlies, If it gets to a point where you're just like not confident and it's hard to wear certain things and you're contemplating, just go for it. Literally 10 out of 10 would recommend. One of the best decisions I've ever made. I've never been so happy with my body. Literally wore a halter top dress to my cousin's wedding yesterday, and listen, didn't have to worry about the boobs slipping from the side, you know, none of that. And even with this shirt, like, not having to worry about, you know, having to wear a bra with this, like, it's changed my life in such a beautiful and amazing way. And I can wear so many things that I wasn't able to wear before. So 10 out of 10 would recommend. Get it done. And when you do get it done, make sure you stay on top of your eating and your fitness so you don't gain the big boobies back, because that can happen. I've heard that a lot as well too. So make sure you stay on top of your fitness and your health and eating right. And enjoy your newfound boobies. You guys, just enjoy it like I am. But you guys, I hope you enjoyed this story time video. I was like, let me switch it up and do something else for you guys. And I've been wanting to talk about my breast reduction journey for such a long time. Again, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I know I didn't give, you know, super detailed like dates and, you know, specific time frames, but I hope you guys gained a lot from this video. You learned a lot. I gave you a lot of good insight. And if you guys have had a breast reduction, or you're thinking about getting one, or if you don't think you want one, or you're scared to get one, or you don't agree with them, let me know too. Put it in the comments. And if you guys have any questions that you want to ask me, or if you feel like I didn't cover something else, let me know. But you guys, I will see you next time with another weekly vlog. Like, share, comment, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.